All right, we are live. Good morning. Today's Friday, November 21st. So we are on the NQ, the NASDAQ, trading the futures. And I got about 3 minutes here until the 9:30 open, this blue line. And kind of here's what I'm expecting. I'm bullish on the day. So what I want to see is I want to see the market open for bearish delivery. And then somewhere down in here, around this previous day low, somewhere in this zone. Would love to see a nice setup for a long and start rebalancing out some of this incredible dump that we had yesterday. Hard to show on the 1 minute chart, but moved like 5,000 ticks yesterday. So there's also the possibility we don't see tons of movement today in the New York AM session, and I'm prepared for that as well. But I think I can get a small little trade out today. We do have a news at 9:45. What is it? Flash manufacturing PMI, flash services PMI. That's coming out. Ooh, excuse me. 9:45. So possible I won't see a setup until after that. I got my good luck clover here. My son is so good at finding 5 and 6 leaf clovers. He has hundreds of them, and he's puts them all on my shelf back there. So I have all these dried 5-leaf clovers sitting around. So this is here to remind me that you can have both good luck and bad luck. And I think that perspective is important for me at the moment. Just having a lot of kind of bad luck lately, getting ticked out of a trade that was a winner, or not getting a fill on a winner. But of course, any of the trades that are losers, you get the fill and they stop you out, kind of thing. Just some of that kind of luck. And so I wanted to reframe my perspective a little bit, that good luck is just as possible. So we're waiting 1 more minute. All right, 9:30. I can't do anything with this. It looks like it kind of wants to just rip without giving any sort of entry. That's what it's kind of looking like. We shall see. Retracing back, not as strong of a closure on this candle. We'll see. Could want to take out some of the liquidity, leaving the rest of it for later. Come back down, continue on. That's still what I want to see. Got a bearish SMT here. So the second candle here, 931. And now look at this 932 candle. Looking a little bit like seek and destroy. All right, so we've got some displacement downwards towards sell side. Hopefully. So YM already came down into this zone, creating a PD array SMT. So with that SMT, it's possible that the bullish delivery does start here above the midnight open. Because we do have bullish SMT down here at the lows just as well. But I can't engage with any of this. The barcode pattern. I'm almost out of chai. Man, I gave up coffee now. Yes, today marks the 3rd week. What is it? 1 week, 2. This is the 3rd full week of no coffee. And it wasn't easy. I loved coffee. I had an espresso press. It made coffee. It made lattes and espresso so good that you'd go to a coffee shop and it would just taste like piss. And they were also super strong. So I was on quite the caffeine roller coaster. And took me a while to figure it out. But I'd had a hunch for maybe a year or so, like, oh, I should probably quit the coffee. Because in the afternoons, I just fall flat. And it would be like, I'm just slugging away at it, trying to make it until like bedtime. So, around 3 o'clock, just fall on my face. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to make it to 9 or so. And I knew I couldn't be the best version of myself living that way. And for a while, I thought it was my sleep. So I did all kinds of sleep studies. And I wasn't sleeping great, but trying to figure out, like, okay, is it sleep? Maybe. Still had to get that sorted out. It wasn't great, but I've improved my sleep a ton. Anyways, I'm surprised at how different quitting coffee is. And it's been a weird journey of like kind of rediscovering who I am. The world is like so much slower and everything is so flat, so boring. The coffee is a super big dopamine hit and just bombarding the dopamine receptors. And but ultimately, like, realized yesterday, like, I achieved my goal of having stable energy all day long. And it took a while. I was sick for a week in the middle of all that too. And maybe for some people, they're just like, oh, that's normal. I can just go all day with no big dips. But for people who drink coffee, if you're experiencing, like it's like this self-perpetuating cycle where you're just exhausted, so you drink it. You drink it because you're exhausted. It might be because the coffee is why you're exhausted. I'm now going all day long. Just don't even think about it. Just keep going, and then it's bedtime. So for what it's worth, it made a big difference in my life so far. And a lot of people have said it can take a while. Like 2 to 3 weeks is where you start to feel like oh, I'm not going to ever do that again. And then pushing further, like a month in plus, you actually start to feel better than you ever did before in the way like surplus energy. So I'm hoping for that. But even if all I got is what I got now, I'm totally stoked. But that aside, 2 minutes left in this macro. Just seek and destroy. Oh, pardon me. That close below makes me think it wants to distribute now, which would be great. Below us, we have the opening range gap. We have the new day opening gap, which has been traded through a couple times, it looks like. And then 15-minute imbalance. Ooh, wee. Keep yawning. All right, first presented fair value gap right there. Price is probably waiting for this red folder to do something. Nothing to do other than wait. So it looks like it might want to flip this first presented fair value gap. We shall see. 30 seconds left in this candle, but nonetheless, strong closure into this first presented fair value gap. Nonetheless, still just making a consolidation pattern. Nothing you want to partake in. Looks like YM is leading a little bit, pushing down, whereas ES and NQ are both kind of lagging, I'm assuming, unless YM's the lagger and then these start ripping, because there's a nice close above this, and both ES and NQ. We shall see. I'm anticipating this to fail. So we just wait. 9:43, 2 minutes until the red folder. Both ES traded on the 1 hour into the gap, creating bullish SMT. YM is just doing its own thing. YM's relatively unclean. Like ES and NQ look bullish on the 1 hour chart. YM looks like it wants more sell side, more downside. 1 minute until the red folder. Jeez. I have all these yawns after I get done talking about how much energy I've found in the last couple weeks drinking no caffeine. All right, red folder. So far, a delayed reaction. Maybe the 950 macro will yield a setup. All right, we're gapping down. I like to see these gaps forming. It looks like the bullish SMT that was forming is no longer valid, which is a bummer. So this low has been swept. There's a tailless candle right here. Don't really want it to form right here. Because I don't have any SMT. Look at that. Inverted this gap. I just don't have SMT. Shoot. I don't like how it's inside this consolidation zone. There's no SMT. I'm just waiting. This could run without me. And that's a hard decision sometimes. It closes above here. That's another bullish confirmation. But at the moment, it shouldn't take this many candles to confirm to just start distributing. So it's actually just consolidating after closing above this inversion. Gave a bunch of retests, a bunch of chances to get in on it. I think this is going to be it. I think it's going to distribute from here. But it's not clean. Forming some trendline liquidity down in here. Could leave it, but just little subtle clues, a tailless candle, some trendline liquidity. I'd have been fine with my trade if I would have limited in and done a 1-to-1, which is what I was thinking about doing. but it would have been breaking my rules without any SMT. I feel like that's been the pattern lately, is a lot of these setups are missing something. They're not clean, they're missing SMT, something. Bunch of bearish SMT. We are backed by a daily SMT down at these lows right here, but I will really wanted to see some local SMT. And then this is just ugly, so can't trust these candles looking like this. And if anything, it makes me more inclined for a short. Took the previous 1 hour high, tapped into 15-minute fair value gap. Here's an implied inversion. got 1 minute till the next 1 hour candle opens. Actually, the next 4 hour candle opens too. It's at 10 a.m. So it's possible this ends up being the short down to the zone, but I was originally envisioning some kind of long. But I'm not interested in taking a trade inside this, whatever this garbage is. Patience pays. The last 15-minute candle is just a compression candle. 1 hour's opening with no tail on it so far, so I would expect it to come down. Short from that implied fair value gap is playing out. I don't take implied fair value gaps. It's just interesting. Either way, whether I would have longed or shorted in this price action, I actually would have won a trade. But it's just such low probability. All right, so here's the zone I wanted to long from. Let's see. It is kind of still part of this crappy price action. We'll see. Inside the macro at the moment. So if we get some nice distribution above this, I don't know if it's going to win. I don't know if it's going to lose. I may not even get a fill. Who knows? All right, so it went break even because it came almost to my TP. So it's probably going to tap me out, but yep. But I wasn't stoked about it here in this price action. So let's see here. Came back down to retest this gap right there. It's high resistance. We can see since opening, we've really been stuck in this range. And this is where in backtesting, I would just be clicking forward. Zim might just want to consolidate on like the 1 hour continually after that huge dump from yesterday. It just might want to sit here and do this for a while. Here on the 4 hour, I was expecting at least some kind of rebalance up into the lower quadrant of this fair value gap, 50% range kind of thing. 2 a.m. candle took this low. Really, we have a whole 4 hour range. We're at 50% of that equilibrium of that candle. This is a massive support level, weekly fair value gap. Previous day low. There's a lot of support down in here. There was this inversion with an SMT2, but I just had gotten out of my short or my long. And I probably still wouldn't have taken that. It's too much in this consolidation. I see all this, excuse me, liquidity being built up right through here. Oop, on the wrong chart. Right here. All right, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. I'll come back. I don't think I'm going to see anything in the next couple minutes, but I'll take my phone so I can keep an eye on the chart. Oh boy. More ugly. This is why I went and got some breakfast. Gosh. That looks potentially like it right there even. But I can't really trust this. Would have given 1-to-1 though. I'm okay not being in on this. This is not distributing. But I want to note that I wasn't. Oops, wrong. Round 4 of that. And then here it's reversing, like. Hardcore. Cool. I'm not interested in this anymore. At this point, any lower than, much lower than this in my long thesis is invalid. But it's also looking so ugly, I don't even want to trade in here. So I don't see it clearly. It's ugly. It's Friday after a big dump. I'm logging out. Looks like shorts want to distribute more. There's an inversion here, stop hunt, or an SMT.